8 years ago, the internet changed forever. It was one of the most earth-shattering videos in drama and YouTube history. This moment cemented Logan Paul in the halls of YouTube infamy. And it would be the first that everyone realized how damn annoying the brothers could truly be. It's been 8 years since the infamous Japanese suicide forest. That one makes me feel old then, doesn't it? While this video is a focus on the elder Paul's rise to stardom, I think it's hard to really discuss their infamy without discussing both of them. You see, from a young age, the brothers were always tied at the hip, being physical comedy duo extraordinaires in their teens. The exact kind of suburban teen nonsense that you would expect them to get up to. You know, the Pauls published physical comedy online in their teens, and it bears a striking resemblance to things that they do now in their late 20s. Now, the brothers wouldn't really get famous from this. They were a bit too early, but they were far from being late to YouTube. These early years featured them and their high school friends on a channel called Zoosh, where they would perform physical comedy and bits and be kind of bored, goofy, suburban white teens. These are really telling. You can see that the brothers are really just natural performers. As much as they wouldn't want to admit it, they are pure thespians through and through. You see, from a long time ago, before they were on Disney, all of this was them doing bits you'd expect to see on a show like Bizarre later on. I think the Zoosh videos are really telling. There's a lot of foreshadowing for the future. There's one moment where Logan performs a bit of Rocky, and he's giving a speech to his brother on getting hit. And I guess they should have done that one a couple times, because I guess the lesson didn't stick.
No. It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Son of a bitch!
I really can't underestimate how the Paul brothers really haven't changed, right? It's been the same thing the entire time. The Zoosh videos are nearly identical to now. Nothing has changed, just the sheer amount of capital that flows through their veins. Another thing worth mentioning is that Logan is honestly really just more likable. Jake Paul is the little brother archetype. He's insufferable, he's got a whiny voice, he's got everything that you would hate about the younger generations. And, you know, he's got everything complete with the damn zoomer stare that just keeps like piercing through. Logan honestly has a warmth to him that just gives off the I was socialized and learned how to act around people kind of behavior. Jake Paul doesn't have that. Honestly, Jake Paul's kind of ghoulish. If there's anybody who's killed people, out of the two brothers, I would bet money on Jake Paul. Look, most of their early work is physical comedy, and none of it is really going to stand out to much of anyone, with scant appearances from their father, who would become a frequent Paul brothers side character. For most internet users, though, you didn't really learn about the Pauls back on Zoosh. You learned about the Pauls through Vine, which was around 3 or 4 years after Zoosh. Vine is where this infamous empire was built. The foundation was laid. Zoosh was just a testing ground for all this physical comedy. But the constraints of Vine allowed for all of that simple bro humor to shine. And Logan Paul excelled at doing just that. Vine is an interesting one. Vine was never going to work. Looking at all of the history, I just can't see that being the case. And Zoomers and millennials kind of talk about Vine like they lost a piece of culture. It was like, oh, Tumblr before the porn ban. But in hindsight, come on guys, there's no way any of this would have worked. Okay, Vine was subsidized by its owners. It's apparent that it's coming back as a thing called Divine, which is like Vine but without AI on it. And honestly, I don't really know how they're going to avoid the slop merchants. 99% of the Vines that existed were garbage anyway. The ones you remember were the funny memes that ended up becoming part of the cultural zeitgeist. And most of them, honestly, not that great. And I don't think we really lost much with the death of Vine. It's just funny how older generations have this like ennui of a time gone by and drive-in movie theaters, and Zoomers and millennials are like, I miss my old phone app. It's kind of rough, not gonna lie. But Logan was on this phone app as his late teens and early 20s approached. So Logan would throw a long shot and develop his social following on Vine. He ended up collaborating with tons of vloggers at the time. King Batch, who was the spoon guy, Josh Peck, this dwarf that was like, I guess he like, I don't know, was consumed by Hasbullah or something. Ice-T, which actually predates the Law & Order episode. A surprisingly large amount of cross-dressing happened as well, which, you know, foreshadowing his literary device.
Watch this, I can't say spaghetti, watch. Spaghetti. Let me taste now.
Not to mention plenty of canceled or vanished Viners. He did some stuff with Nash Greer, who none of you probably remember, and Curtis Lepori, who some of you probably remember. You guys, Nash Greer got canceled for something crazy, guys. It was here that Logan's stardom was being cemented. As Viners moved to LA, horrifying, the platform became a crutch, which was expected. You see, one of the issues with Vine is that it was so short, it was hard to monetize. It's a big reason that the platform died. It was stuck in a rock and a hard place where the short length was the selling point of the platform. But that short length meant that ads didn't have their time to seep their way into the crevices of your brain. And as a result, it was hard to pay creators. Some of them tried to do product placement in videos, but the length of videos made it nearly impossible. So a lot of them would decide to leave the platform and go elsewhere. Others who stuck around ended up falling into irrelevancy. You also gotta understand the culture at the time. This was peak E-celeb and Z-list celebrity golden age. Executives in Hollywood wanted to leverage technology they didn't understand by recruiting talent from the internet. And Vine presented itself as the perfect breeding ground for people who thought they were funny, but were flat broke, splitting an LA apartment 8 ways. Now, according to Webster's dictionary, by the way, a bunch of unfunny comedians in an apartment is also known as a podcast. Wouldn't you know, Logan would also do one of those. Essentially, Vine became a funnel to get people from Vine to somewhere else to buy merch or go to a place like YouTube, more often than not. Though Viners squandered the opportunity by failing to build a YouTube or larger brand that could withstand a potential brand collapse. Logan, though, began uploading vlogs, and since Casey Neistat had done the daily vlog routine, Logan did that too. And then Jake did that, because he's the less talented younger brother and has to do whatever his brother does. Regardless, from here, the empire was growing as people became more and more aware of Logan and his brother as people and not as comedic blonde-haired bits. And whether because of the fame or something in their souls, a lot of animosity was growing against them. And a lot of animosity was growing against these Viners who were finding their way coming to YouTube as they brought a new brand of content. Okay, look, everybody talks about this time on YouTube. It was really a different place at the time. And I'm really interested in that because I think a lot of us see it as a golden age. In some ways I agree, in other ways not so much. What this was, though, was a Vine exodus. There was a huge pushback from creators that were already on the platform about these guys. This was the era of edgy YouTube, of commentary. Long-form video didn't have to compete with short-form. And moreover, the vloggers brought a different attitude to content creation that was completely different from the people who were there before. The internet was slowly but surely being invaded by normal people. And before that, it was really just a place where weirdos were sharing their weirdness. And that was changing very rapidly as they were building infrastructure and kind of taming the West, as it were. I mean, okay, like, if you weren't there at the time, you just wouldn't know. But like, the hate that people had for things like Lele Pons, Jojo Siwa, and more at the time was basically like, it all came down to not liking dumb normie humor, right? And honestly, a lot of the anger is completely unjustified. And Logan and Jake exemplified that exact version of hateable person in a wealthy white guy who was actually a piece of shit. But honestly, it wasn't really the outrageously kind of evil content you would expect. Dumb, yeah, but like, I prefer it to the alternative that exists now, and I doubt anybody would disagree with that. And at the time, Logan was just doing boring vlogs coupled with small gags that weren't really pushing the boundaries too much, aside from being loud in public, which isn't really a problem in America. Though I would say that Logan compared these daily vlogs to a TV show, and I 100% disagree with that assessment of his content. It really isn't. But before we go on to discuss the continued history of all of this, let's head on down to the marketing department. I stream here on YouTube at Diesel IRL. If you want to join the community, you can head over to the Discord link down below. There you can suggest topics for videos and streams. It's where I've been since doing videos doesn't make money and is not a feasible alternative anymore because I need to make billions of videos now. So if you like this, check out Diesel IRL, since frankly, I just prefer to be a streamer and it's just a lot better. So check me out, go to the Discord, do all that, and your ad is over. For all the machismo of Logan, I gotta say it, he's kind of fruity. When he started on YouTube, he was doing things like split pranks, where he would do an impressive split and generally just be a loud maverick in public. Maverick is an important word. You see, Maverick became his first brand. It's named after his bird, Maverick, which apparently he never recognized or understood the colors of the bird because of his color blindness, allegedly. It should also be noted, you might not know what happened to Maverick. Maverick was eaten by Logan's mastiff puppy, Ginger. Logan's other dog, Kong, was also eaten by a coyote after a fierce battle killed the small little dog. This is all unrelated, but Logan has been repeatedly criticized for his treatment of animals, and this was I mean, I guess it's not a canary, but you know, it is a canary in a coal mine. Look, at the time, people didn't really care that much about Logan. It was mainly about Jake, who everyone could not stand. Logan was bombastic, but Jake was that and then 10 times worse, okay? Jake kind of embodied this antisocial freak of a person that was growing on YouTube at the time. Okay, so I guess it's a good time that we talk about something that was happening at the same time as Logan's rise to stardom, because I do think it played a factor in how people would perceive Logan when things started to hit the fan. We need to talk about
it's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow. 5 mil on YouTube in 6 months, never done before.
The idea of an influencer house is something that is just horrifying. I think if you're in your early 20s, you might think it's an amazing idea. I know I did, but in hindsight, there was no reason why any of those things should work. It's basically turning a frat house into a money-making scheme with somehow more rape allegations. The reaction to Team 10 was just about as outrageous as you would expect. If you weren't a commentary channel at the time, well, you were missing out on all the Team 10 bread you could be making. All right, there was countless Team 10 vids mocking the artificiality of these people, the attitude, the behavior, all of it. Literally everyone spent all of their time complaining about these 20-year-olds. And yeah, they actually did suck a lot. And honestly, this was the kind of crap I was cutting my teeth on back on the day. Like, it was honestly a general expectation to make videos like this. But the people on Team 10 were honestly the embodiment of those kind of annoying people you knew in high school that everybody felt was popular. You know, the very artificial idea of what a popular kid is. And now they were like insanely famous, driving Lamborghinis and being a general nuisance on society. So as a commentary channel, you had it in your best interest to say something mean about them. But yeah, you know, I covered it. Everybody did. And yeah, they did suck. You could think of people like people like Nick Crompton. Come on, they wouldn't have been bullied by people like I'm Alex. Which honestly, Nick Crompton versus I'm Alex match up of the century. If not for their lack of musical prowess for their other thing. Team 10 was just an unmitigated disaster. It was the result of a bottomless check, okay? It was like Lord of the Flies with video cameras. And Jake and his crew tore up the Team 10 house in countless videos. They annoyed neighbors, turned the entire town into a spectacle, complete with groupies sitting outside the home. The Martinez twins, the Spanish ones you see in the Everyday Bro video, were allegedly bullied every day. This, coupled with the resurfacing of racist comments Jake has said, did Jake absolutely zero favors. But again, if I were to profile someone, and I do think that we need to profile Jake Paul more, if I needed to pick out the guy who was the racist in the lineup, I would definitely choose Discount Jelly Roll over there. Logan wouldn't really become an issue until the colorblind glasses video. Now, this video was widely criticized by commentary channels and comedians for its outrageous premise. For example, Ethan Klein and iDubbbz did a video on it. There's an ellipses in this script, indicating that I must take a pause. However, I'm going to ignore that and just say, damn, a decade really has changed people, has it not? Anyway, watching the colorblind video now, aside from the acting being very obvious, the more outrageous thing here is stuff like Logan not knowing basic things that even a colorblind person would know. Hence, he apparently didn't know what his bird Maverick looked like.
Yellows and oranges, like, you can't see them.
I mean, no, I can.
It's
It's when colors blend.
So like your bird's just one color to you.
What?
Your bird is just one color
Yeah.
to you.
What are you saying?
But he's like 4 different colors. He's all of those colors. He's orange, red, yellow.
Maverick?
Yeah.
My bird.
Your bird Maverick. Whose bird would we be talking about?
Maverick is yellow. His whole body.
Oh man.
Here I go. I know. Here I go. Oh my god.
By the way, according to Reddit.com, colorblind glasses don't magically make you see colors that you couldn't see before, by the way. The best way that I've seen it described on Reddit is that it's kind of like tinting and saturating colors, so you can more easily distinguish the things that you can't see. Point being, it doesn't magically make you see things, which is what Logan was trying to do, and I think he just kind of wanted to buy the glasses and then, like, I don't know, write it off as a tax expense, or maybe it was advertising. For a lot of people, those glasses just straight up don't work. Anyway, all this to say, Logan's entire reaction video just does not make any sense. Now, he's even gone on record since saying that the event is staged, but at the time, this was a big deal for people. It was a humongous drama, and he was relentlessly mocked for it. As with most things, the only people that were really fooled by this were old Logan fans who were 12 at the time. Honestly, I don't even think the colorblind glasses thing is the most egregious thing Logan did at the time. The children who were following him around that year would be scared to death after a false kirking of Logan. A prank so outrageously real looking that I'm surprised that he didn't get in more trouble for this one. The assassination took place in 2017 when the Team 10 drama was in full swing. And Logan was in this semi-fake beef with his brother Jake. This whole staged assassination horrified children and parents alike, which was only exacerbated by the growing conflict between the brothers that was both fake and real at the same time, and very much not for the audiences of these two creators, who were made up of like 12-year-old boys who hit dabs in middle school. Now, a lot of the drama between Jake and Logan honestly seems pretty fake, but there's also some of it that's a little bit more up for debate. In particular,
so, I'm sure you guys want to know what's going on right now. Basically this, Jake's kicking me out. He didn't want to wait for me to get my apartment, which I'm getting in a couple days, so he threw all my stuff downstairs and put a lock on the door. So this is what I'm working with, and apparently I don't live in here anymore. All my stuff's like gone. You know, I want you guys there with me through life, and I'm not going to be making videos with Jake anymore, so I want to explain why. So now it's created an entire inconvenience for me, because now I have to just hire a moving company and put all my stuff in storage, and like, it's just insane. I mean, personally, I thought Team 10 was supposed to be a team, you know, but clearly it's not a team anymore. That's not how you treat your family.
Alyssa Violet. Okay, so Team 10. There was this woman on Team 10 named Alyssa Violet. In fact, all of the women on Team 10 were there because they were models, Alyssa Violet included, but Alyssa was a standout. She was also dating Jake at the time, and eventually Jake had posted a video saying she was out of Team 10 and she needed to move out, and he basically alluded to her cheating on him. Alyssa, in response to Jake, said that Jake was a cheater, that Jake was a manipulative whore, and honestly that Jake was kind of an emotional, domestic piece of shit. I'm truncating a lot of this, but basically that's what she called him. And yeah, so it was basically both of them saying that they were whores, and that was it. Alyssa went on to say how Jake would sleep with different women every night, and then Jake takes it to Twitter to further try and smear Alyssa, where he then reveals not only was Alyssa also a cheater, but it wasn't just anybody that she cheated on Jake with. No. Logan is the one that Alyssa hooked up with, and that was the final straw for Jake. So, in a tweet, yes, the younger brother, Jake Paul, admits that his older brother basically cucked him. Not only is Jake Paul less talented, but his women are also taken from him by his older brother. Everyday Bro would come out without Alyssa Violet, and during Alyssa's video, where she was exposing Jake, she then ended the video by releasing a song with Rice Gum. Yes, one of the premier Rice Gum videos that everyone would talk about every night, sis. I bet you don't remember that these things are connected. And honestly, looking at the drama, just even from like an outsider's perspective, Every Night Sis is an insane song, right? Not only does Alyssa claim that Jake was the cheater, but then in Every Night Sis, she says like, oh, I'm Alyssa, I'm not a cheater, but your brother's cock is bigger and he's a better kisser. All while Rice Gum talks about how Jake Paul used to bully children, while Rice Gum also makes videos bullying children. Now, I've examined the diss tracks of this time, and they're all terrible. Even the ones you think are good. You only think they're good because it was a decade ago and you were 12. It's all sauceless, it's all cracker maxing. I'm sorry, but this revisionist history that this stuff was good is insane. And we all need to stop saying that because it was all corny. You all need to grow up. I will give Rice Gum this though. He knows black people. The white boy Aeropastel posse of Logan and Jake is actually kind of funny and outrageous. They all look the same, and I would not be able to tell who each of them are. You see, Logan also did a diss track on his brother at the time, and literally all of these guys look exactly the same. At least K-pop guys have like, you know, a gimmick. Also, for some reason, I'm looking back at it, and Alyssa was kind of taken at her word because people couldn't fucking stand Jake. And yeah, it is all probably true what Alyssa's saying, but I find it crazy that this girl exposed Jake as being an abusive, cheating ass, and then goes on to make a music like video where she's just explaining that she is also a cheating asshole, but like it's okay for her to do it. Honestly, it's kind of amazing how well they were made for each other, and I don't know how much of it is real versus how much of it is manufactured. I'd imagine a lot of it is manufactured, but boy oh boy is it just crazy. Not to mention this whole like music scene and making rap and all of that just blew up with Logan's next song.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always
I can
show
ride
up.
your girl with no handlebars. So riddle me this, viewer. What if women are bikes and I'm on top of them giving them back shots? This earth-shattering question of women as objects was asked by Logan. And by now the animosity was starting to bubble up about him as a liar and clout monger and general trash person. But this is really the first time I would say it broke containment. The blogs would discuss his bad behavior everywhere, but when he dropped no handlebars, the millennials came for him. They had a problem with it. And they ran to their bored pandas and they made a top 10 list about why Logan sucked. So No Handlebars is basically a rip of a song called Handlebars. It's a pretty good song if you've never heard of it. It's very much in the spirit of anti-Iraq war music. Think like System of the Downs, BYOB. So needless to say, it's a song about giving back shots that Logan made and not holding on to the hip dips. So I'd say that Logan was kind of tone deaf because the subject matter of the music was a lot more serious. Now, No Handlebars and Handlebars have nearly identical structure in many ways too. You can find uploads of them online. I can't play the music, obviously. The differences were that they were so minor that people immediately took issue with it, and then Flowbots, the band behind it, heard about it. Logan was blasted by the internet for producing a vapid, sexist song that viewed women as objects, completely missing the message of the piece that he was aping for his own vanity. This is what I mean, by the way, by everything that Logan does seems like him chasing away the fruity demons in his heart. Like, you know, oh, I'm not gay, I fuck bitches. You know, both he and Jake, you know, for their entire careers, it felt like they were miming what 12-year-olds think a masculine man is. And there's nothing more like that than No Handlebars. I don't know, it's just my thought on it. It just seems like he's trying really too hard. He's like, oh, I'm manly, I wrestle, you know, I get punched in the face. I do some play pretend of a masculine man, you know, because I'm Logan Paul. And I mean, come on, man. Logan and Jake, they didn't really ever struggle, so they just kind of come off as, I mean, it's just kind of dorky. Like, of course you would like that if you were like 12, but come on. So, Jamie Laurie, the Flowbots vocalist, eventually saw all of this and Logan Paul's song, and he responded with his own diss track, which, he's a seasoned musician. So he absolutely obliterated Logan with his track, okay? No Handlebars would end up leading Logan Paul to a lawsuit, and now there's only re-uploads of the track online, with the Flowbots song still being up and honestly cooking Logan beyond belief. If you were on the outside and you were just kind of like consuming the culture at the time, doing a Paul Brothers video was really like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, them, Lele Pons, and all the lowbrow comedy videos coming out from these outrageously famous former Viners made for some great cannon fodder. This was really the bread and butter of commentary, and at the time, all you had to do was say that it was annoying and that the comedy was bad, and you'd be laughing your way to the bank. The world really was different pre-adpocalypse. I don't even think I could begin to describe to you how easy it was to make obscene amounts of money prior to the adpocalypse. Like, it was crazy how good the ad rev was prior to that versus after that. It's a night and day difference. It makes a lot of sense that these guys were flexing their wealth and showing it all off. They had an abundance of wealth. I mean, the horrifying reality of all of this is like, why did we expend our energy on this stuff back then? That's something I've constantly kept coming back to in this video, if you haven't noticed. And then, I mean, ultimately, I just chalk it up to like, you know, I was 18 and I was ignoring the clear fact that billionaire Peter Thiel was bankrolling a business named after an orb used by an evil wizard in The Lord of the Rings to spy on people. Yes, that's what Palantir is named after. The orb that spies on people. You know, creators taking their adventure global is always a risky move, because we put up with a lot of shit here in the United States, but other people, not so much. The creator economy is like very much an American thing, and it's only just started getting big overseas. The Respect Tour, as I call it, was the end of standards for maverick behavior. As they travel to other parts of the world, the brothers have now found time to come together again. And now they were in Italy. There's a whole bunch that goes on in Italy, by the way. Logan was a humongous nuisance there. Sans the dead body in Japan, I'd argue it was just as bad and annoying, since he would break social norms pretty much anywhere he went. He would be allowed a blonde American stereotype at every single landmark he went to. For example, he flew a drone in the Colosseum, the Roman Colosseum, which you can imagine a drone smashing into a rock at the Colosseum and falling on someone might kill them, which is exactly why you can't fly a drone over the Colosseum.
What's up, G?
The fly of a drone in this area is illegal.
No bueno.
I must arrest you for this.
He and his brother also swam in the canals of Venice, which locals repeatedly told them was filled with feces. So, if you go to Venice, don't swim in the canals, they're filled with feces.
So we lost zero money today. Yo, if you call the police, ask them if they could join the Logan. No, it's illegal. It's illegal. You're telling me it's illegal? Yo, back me up, son. Okay, we should probably leave. Yeah, we should get out of here. The water's disgusting. Italy, I love you though.
You smell like shit.
Yeah, I know, bro, but that's what it's all about, Brendan. Yo, Logan.
Either way, this was led to his arrest by the Italian authorities. He spent time in Italy yelling in people's faces, making a scene, holding up police time. Anything you attributed to Japan, you can attribute to Italy. And it's literally never mentioned when we talk about this.
Italy hates vloggers. What? Okay, so it must just be like anyone above the age of like 35. Man, nah. It's 2017, bro. Like, vloggers are a thing. Yo, did you get...
Regardless, you'll want to know about Japan. So around December, the Low Gang finally hits the glorious Nippon and does exactly what you would expect. They've made compilations of how annoying he was in Tokyo. Folks called him racist, culturally insensitive, rude, and all of that is true. Some undersold favorites of mine are Logan, who is flanderizing up an entire group of people to be all about the respect, repeatedly mentioning how it's all about the respect at every moment of the trip, along with other Japanese stereotypes.
Careful to not like disrespect the culture, because Logan, Japan is all about the respect. In Japan, they're all about the respect. Excuse me, sir. The game seems to be malfunctioning. Mucho broken, though.
Japan is also pretty quiet, so Logan yelling stood out a lot, as he would drop his pants on the floor in public places, ride on vehicles on the street, break objects he just bought in front of crowds, and generally treat Japanese people like little cartoon characters. He had altercations with Japanese police, threw plush Pokeballs at strangers, pretty much all of the ridiculous things that you've seen in the compilations he does in spades. Logan mentions during these vlogs how in a prior vlog at a prior time when he went to Japan, he almost got arrested for doing a split the last time that he was there. So it's not like this being annoying in Japan thing is a one-off. This is an escalating series of events because the guy hasn't received any pushback from the local authorities. It's actually kind of hilarious how many of the things from the Japan trip ended up getting lost to the sea of the Suicide Forest video. For example, here's Logan trying to cleanse his spirit.
Think of my future.
No, you're gonna light on fire, bro.
That's okay. My spirit's being
You're gonna light on fire.
My spirit's cleansed. It's
If only he had done that right after the dead body incident, it might have actually helped a little more. You know, it's like when you get it's like if you're Catholic and you get like you get your sins cleared and then you walk outside and like, I don't know, you commit a murder. It's like, okay, well, you gotta go back. But these archive vlogs are filled with so many outrageous things that Logan said or did. I really couldn't spend my time noting all of them. You know, and honestly, there are good interactions here, okay? It's not like he's walking around like pulling his eyes back, making the like Chinese accent or something, right? There's like a 1-to-2 ratio of bad interactions, you know? I'd say that's Logan's law, if you will. It's not like he's awful all the time, but there are many times where he is. I think if I had to like really dice it up per incident, he's certainly better than Johnny Somali, but every time he bothers someone, it's such a hassle for them because of the need to be polite and also the language barrier where they're just panicking to try and get through the situation. It's really, really telling, and you see a lot of, especially old people, really panic in these videos as they're trying to get through the social situation with Logan Paul. And I feel really bad for them because this is probably like one of their first interactions with a white person, all right? Like, it's really rough for them. I feel really bad.
Hey, how many what? How many subscribers? 15 million. We just hit it. Blowing up on YouTube. Are you subscribed?
I mean, this disgusting stuff, like he went to Shibuya Crossing with raw fish and then they would just shove the fish in random passerbys' faces, or take the fish into stores where there's clothes that people would buy and put on, and that's just like really disgusting, just like actually. But none of it it all pales in comparison to the forest, okay? It all goes crazy. It gets bad. So the forest is gone from YouTube, and you'll be hard pressed to find many re-uploads of it. I have found out firsthand as to why. Mainly because Logan has partnered with the company to take down re-uploads of this. So I'm hoping what I've shown here is good and I can do that, but I have a feeling this video is going to be struck and taken down and it's going to be completely bogus. They did it to one of my streams, but I'm not even bothering with the stream. The intent here is very blatantly designed to try and keep the Suicide Forest video off the internet. Not because of the body, but because of the black mark it leaves on his legacy. I have no doubts in my mind that he is doing that for the intent to save face rather than to protect the victim. Anyway, how's the video? Well, if you don't remember the Suicide Forest video, because it was only up for about 48 hours, it's worse than you remember. The video is as bad as people make it out to be, and then some. you literally do see a dead body up close and personal. You can make out the details on his clothes, the blood pooling in his extremities, literally everything. Nothing is left to the imagination as Logan, after goofing about ghosts in the forest, discovers a man who died by suicide, not but a few hundred meters from the parking lot. In the video, Logan and crew go up within arm's length of the victim and make comments about the event, not really understanding the severity of it or recognizing how bad it is. The video is actually genuinely shocking and worse than I remember. Personally, I'm not shocked by a dead body. I'm cool, I'm good. But I'm shocked that literally none of them turned off the cameras. Logan keeps the same tone and demeanor that he's had in every other vlog, which only makes this entire situation worse. Logan even posted this on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve! Logan set up the worst possible New Year's for himself, and from this, the internet blew up. Now, this isn't just some random person uploading a dead body. People do that on YouTube all the time. There's tons of war footage that you can watch right now. This is one of YouTube's biggest creators brazenly showcasing suicide and then sheepishly adding that you should seek help and that you need to be a maverick, while also advertising his merchandise.
Suicide is not the answer. Literally, guys, what I preach every day is being a maverick. Like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. In fact, I encourage you to do that. So if you're feeling ostracized...
The response was instant shock, and Logan instantly went viral for all the wrong reasons. He responded quickly with a Twitter apology where this was an excuse. He basically was, he was grinding really hard. He's a human. And, humans make mistakes, all while thanking his fans. An apology that was so bad, it instantly got torn apart line by line as what not to do when apologizing, downplaying the human element of what he did and making the event sound like what he did was a split in Shibuya or something. Needless to say, YouTube took action, which was rare because they almost literally didn't take action for anything at the time. YouTube responded by taking him off the YouTube Preferred Partner program, which allowed Logan to get premium ads on his videos. Advertisers took this as an opportunity to renegotiate their ad contracts with YouTube, and the mainstream media began up a spin that YouTubers are a problem, which in some respects, yeah, in other respects, not so much. Creators who never spoke on drama actually spoke out, decrying Logan Paul, shaming him as an awful display of a person just for his awful indifference at the situation. Logan went into repair mode after taking down the Japan vlogs, and Logan then made his apology. His most infamous apologies, and one of the most infamous apologies of all time, up there with Travis Scott and Colleen Ballinger. I've made a severe and continuous lapse of my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. One of the lines of all time, I still use it to this day. Looking at this apology 8 years on, I also think this is one of the worst ones, okay? The focus for this stuff should be apologizing for the action and apologizing for those personally affected. The apology starting off with what you saw in the video was live, unfiltered, raw reaction, when the reality is that you uploaded a video that you could have chosen to filter at any point and just filter out the video entirely and not upload the video, or just like do a piece to camera where you're like, we saw a dead body, I didn't feel okay publishing the video, blah, 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 and then do a call to action. Boom, boom, Bob's your uncle. You wouldn't have been talked about like you were a villain. Though it's important, he does mention the obvious of them doing the right thing by putting the cameras down and at some point and doing all of that. He mentions how he didn't do exactly what he should have done and that the right things to do were obvious the whole time. Look, it's very rare that the internet for drama is on the same page for anything, right? And this ended up being one of those moments. It ended up being a humongous stain that followed Logan around since it happened. And many, many years on, it still continues to haunt him. In fact, watching the video now with so much hindsight and so much time between when I watched it originally and now, yeah, that video is actually worse than you remember. I promise you that. It is as bad as people say it is. It does live up to the infamy. Anyway, Logan ended up leaving for a bit after his severe and continuous lapse in his judgment, coming back with a TV appearance apology complete with new haircut, so we know he's a changed man, and he dedicated money to suicide prevention and doing a documentary on suicide. Now, the funny thing about all of this apology tour that Logan was doing, you would have sworn it was like a damn state-mandated apology with some of the things that he was doing. I mean, in some respects, it was. YouTube was kind of holding his ad rev hostage, and Logan became a little bit of an international incident, sowing serious discontent with Japan and its creators that has followed ever since, and only worsened over time with the creation of a nuisance streamer like Johnny Somali, or name whatever other guy is on Kick. So when a foreign government or large swaths of a foreign populace know of you and only have bad things to say about you, you end up representing pretty much every frustration those people have about another group of people. This was an absolute unmitigated disaster, and Logan's apologies were doing nothing to stop the bleeding. People had made up their minds about Logan, and many of them just never forgave him after this moment. He lost his series The Thinning, which was terrible. His acting career seemed to have died, and basically the only thing he had to his name was get this, a Gamergate episode of Law & Order SVU. Logan became the poster child for literally everything everyone hated about influencer culture. The second things went back to normal with Logan's content, people were looking for a reason to yell at him. For example, immediately after returning to regular content, he tased some dead rats and was accused of mistreating his koi fish, giving a fish CPR. Fish are in water. You cannot blow air into their gills. Soon after this, he came back. He built a narrative of animal neglect. The stuff happened with Kong and Maverick, and it took like a year or something. Yeah, like a year for Logan's legacy to end up being tainted again, this time by crypto rug pulls and risky investment schemes. And there are plenty of other videos for that out there. But nothing will ever compare to the Japanese suicide forest all those 8 years ago. It is one of my favorite falls. And you know what, Logan? Happy 8 years. Here's to 8 more.